Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online classes. This is biology session, transport in living beings, part 6. Till now we have completed the transport system in animals. We have been discussing up to the blood and its composition we have completed, and a little about the blood groups. So what are how the blood groups are determined? The blood groups are determined based on the antigens present on RBC. Okay, especially red blood cells possess an antigen protein. Based on that antigen, blood groups can be determined. So if RBC of a person possesses antigen A and he possesses in the plasma antibody B, then the blood group is called A blood group. If a person possesses B antigen and antibody A, then B blood group. If a person RBC possesses both the antigens A and B on the plasma membrane, then and no antibodies, then the blood group is called AB blood group. And if a person possesses no antigens but in the plasma both the antibodies A and B are present, then the blood group is the O group. Okay, so this is a brief about the blood groups. So now let us know more about the blood and the components of the blood in detail in today's class. Are you ready, children? Let us proceed. White blood cells, RBC we have completed yesterday. So today WBC, white blood cells, they are referred to as leukocytes. Leuko means white, cytes means cells. WBC, white blood cells. So they are generally larger than red blood cells and have a clearly defined nucleus, whereas RBC without nucleus. A mature RBC is a prokaryotic cell without nucleus, whereas WBC are eukaryotic, they possess well defined nucleus. They are also produced in the bone marrow and have various functions in the body. Okay, bone marrow means the tissue present in the middle of the long bones. So the process of production of blood cells is called as hemopoiesis. WBC also produced from the bone marrow by cell division. Certain white blood cells called lymphocytes are essential components of immune system. Okay, so generally WBC are called leukocytes. They are classified into different types. The group of WBC by name lymphocytes, they are essential components of immune system. Okay, so especially these white blood cells or blood cells, okay, erythrocytes and leukocytes, they are called corpuscles. So what is the speciality of these corpuscles? Means they will move from one place to another place, whereas other cells of the body cannot move, cannot have such ability. Okay, so that's why these blood cells are called blood corpuscles. White blood corpuscles, red blood corpuscles. Though the WBC are less in number compared to RBC, they perform vital functions. Okay, especially defense. So these are the types of WBC based on staining, because WBC are colorless. If you observe under a microscope without staining, we can't differentiate WBC from RBC. Okay, because WBC are Leukocytes, colorless, we can't see. So in order to observe these WBC, we need to stain. Okay, we have to add color to the cells so that we can clearly see the these cells under the microscope. Okay. So here after staining, these are the WBC, different types of WBC. There are 5 main types of WBC. They are categorized into 2 groups, that is granulocytes and agranulocytes. So these granulocytes are again divided into 3 types based on the staining. They are acidophils or eosinophils, which are stained by acidic dyes. Basophils are stained by basic dyes. Okay, and the third one is neutrophils. Neutrophils are the dyes which are stained by neutral. They are neutral to acidic or basic. Okay, they are granulocytes. The cytoplasm possesses several granules, and the nucleus also, lobed nuclei are present in the granulocytes. Whereas agranulocytes, the cytoplasm is plain, no granules inside. They are again divided into 2 types, lymphocytes and monocytes. Monocytes are the largest of all WBC. Neutrophils are called the soldiers of the body. They are the main defense. And lymphocytes play a very important role in the maintenance of immune system. Okay, lymphocytes are again different types, T lymphocytes, B lymphocytes. Okay, so we will T helper cells, we can call it as. Okay, you can study this the higher classes, but basically WBC are of 2 types. So let us see. So other cells called neutrophils and monocytes function primarily as phagocytic in function. Okay, phagocytic means, so lymphocytes, they are defense, whereas phagocytic means the dead and decaying or the microorganisms which enter into the body after their death, they are engulfed, means they are eaten away by these neutrophils and monocytes. Especially the monocytes, they are called the scavengers of the body, scavengers which will clean. Okay, so other cells called neutrophils and monocytes function primarily as phagocytes, that is they attack and engulf invading the microorganisms, and about 30% of WBC are lymphocytes and about 60% are neutrophils. Means among all the WBC, neutrophils are the large, more in number, and about 8% are monocytes. Monocytes are very less in number. If the monocyte number increases, it is called blood cancer. Okay, 30% are lymphocytes, they possess oval shaped nucleus, and 60% of WBC are neutrophils, 5 lobed nucleus is present, and the 8% are monocytes, very less in number. The remaining WBC cells are eosinophils and basophils. Eosinophils, their number will increase at the time of allergy. Okay, the basophils help in wound healing. Okay, they accumulate at the site of wound, and they kill the bacteria or foreign organisms enters through the wound. Basophils, they possess S-shaped nucleus. See the WBC here, neutrophils, eosinophils are also called acidophils, and basophils. The cytoplasm of these cells possess granules, that's why they are also called granulocytes. Okay, these eosinophils, basophils and neutrophils. These three are called granulocytes, whereas monocytes and lymphocytes, they are called agranulocytes. Their cytoplasm is plain. Okay, if you see the shape of the nucleus, two-lobe nucleus is present in the eosinophils, S-shaped nucleus is present in the basophils, five-lobed nucleus or multi-lobe nucleus is present in the neutrophils, whereas large nucleus is present in these agranulocytes, especially monocyte, kidney-shaped nucleus is present, big nucleus, and whereas in the lymphocytes, oval-shaped round nucleus is present in the lymphocytes. Okay, lymphocytes 30%. Most abundant WBC are neutrophils. Next to neutrophils, lymphocytes, and remaining 10% these acidophils, basophils. Okay, remaining 10% not, only 2%, whereas 8% monocytes. Okay, so their functions are uncertain, we can't say exactly. So however, the basophils are believed to be function in allergic responses. Eosinophils and basophils. Eosinophilia, it is an allergy towards the pollen grains or the dust particles. Whenever they enter into the body, the body irritates, causing the sneezing, and all these reactions takes place. So at that time, the eosinophils number will increase and control the reaction. Okay, next blood platelets. Okay, the solid components of the blood are of three types, that is erythrocytes, leukocytes, and thrombocytes. Thrombocytes are also called blood platelets. The platelets are small disc shaped blood fragments produced in the bone marrow. These are also produced by bone marrow. They are also similar to the RBC without nucleus. They lack nuclei and are much smaller than erythrocytes. Okay, erythrocytes are somewhat big in size due to the presence of a protein called hemoglobin, but in thrombocytes they are much smaller compared to RBC, and also known as technically as thrombocytes. Blood platelets are also called as thrombocytes. Thrombus means plate like cells. Okay, that's why blood platelets are thrombocytes. They serve as the starting material for coagulation of blood or blood clotting. They act as or they serve as the starting materials. The platelets adhere to damaged blood vessel or the walls of the blood vessels, and thromboplastin is a protein liberated from the injured tissue. Okay, so whenever a wound occurs, these thrombocytes will attach or will adhere, means go to the site and stick there, and they release a protein called thromboplastin and form a mesh like structure. See here. So here a wounded blood vessel, the blood is oozing out, red blood cells, and along with that the platelets also will come out, the broken blood vessel region, and there the activated platelets, thrombocytes, they release the thromboplastin and form the clot and fibrin. Fibrin is a protein. Okay, it form a mesh like structure and close the blood vessel, the wounded part, so that extra blood may not oozes out. Okay, this is the gift given, so that if this mechanism is failed, then the entire volume of the blood may oozes out through a small wound. That condition is called as hemophilia. Hemophilia is a disease during which this blood clotting mechanism is not up to the mark. or failed. When the blood clotting mechanism failed, there are several factors influencing the blood clotting mechanism, such as these blood platelets is the first step. They gather at the wounded place and form a mesh-like structure that is called clot. Okay, in order to form the clot, not only the platelets, but other factors like vitamin K and calcium is also required for the formation of the clot. Okay, so in the hemophilia people, this mechanism is hampered. Okay, so it's a natural phenomenon. Blood platelets helps in the coagulation of blood at the wounded site. Further, thromboplastin in turn activates other clotting factor in the blood. What is that? Along with calcium ions, other factors, calcium ions and other factors may include vitamin K also. The thromboplastin is converted, or it converts the blood protein prothrombin into thrombin. Okay, in the presence of thromboplastin, the blood protein prothrombin is converted to thrombin. In the image you can see here the fibrin is formed, no? The fibrin, thrombin, these are all the proteins which are accumulated and form the clot. Okay. Next, the thrombin then catalyzes the conversion of its blood protein fibrinogen into a protein called fibrin. Okay, see the reaction. First thromboplastin, then thrombin, now fibrin. Okay, thrombin catalyzes the conversion of its blood protein fibrinogen into a protein called fibrin, which forms a patchwork or network of mesh-like at the injury site. Okay, fibrin finally forms the patchwork mesh at the injury site. As the blood cells are trapped in the mesh, a blood clot forms. Okay, see here clearly in this picture we can see the clotting factors. Prothrombin forming thrombin. In the presence of this thrombin, fibrinogen is converted to fibrin. Okay, so the broken blood vessel, damaged blood vessel, then the formation of platelet plug, first activated platelets, then fibrin strands are formed, then blood clot. This is the blood clotting mechanism, which plays a very important role. Which blood cells plays a very important role in the blood clotting mechanism? Blood platelets or thrombocytes. Okay, so what are the clotting factors required? Thromboplastin, which convert prothrombin into thrombin, then thrombin converts the fibrinogen into fibrin. In the presence of calcium ions and vitamin K, this entire mechanisms will take place, and finally blood clot is formed. Blood clot is nothing but fibrin strands, the protein strands, which form a mesh-like or patchwork mesh at the injury site. So the RBC will be accumulated, gathered there and get coagulated. Okay, it occurs naturally within 1 or 2 minutes, or within the seconds itself. The entire mechanism start. Okay, platelets break and release this thromboplastin and converts these prothrombin and fibrinogen. They are present in the plasma of the blood. They are natural blood coagulating proteins. Okay, and heparin is the anticoagulant present in the blood. Heparin is the anticoagulant, means the blood flows freely in the blood vessels because of presence of heparin. Okay, along with that these prothrombin and fibrinogen are also soluble proteins which are present in the blood plasma. At the time of coagulation, or whenever this to form the clot, so these fibrinogen and this prothrombin are activated by the clotting factors and form the fibrin finally. Okay, so it's a natural phenomenon present in all human beings. Okay, so what we have learned till now, let us recap. The plants have the tissues to transport water, nutrients and minerals. Xylem transports water and mineral salts. Which transports the water and mineral salts? Xylem transports the water and mineral salts from the roots up to the other parts of the plant, while phloem transport sucrose and amino acids between the leaves and other parts of the plant. Phloem transports sucrose and amino acids up and down, and the plant up and down the plant. This is called translocation. The water evaporates through the stomata present on the surface of leaves by the process of transpiration. The evaporation of water from leaves generates a suction pull, that is called transpiration pull, which can pull the water to great heights in the tall trees. And the transpiration also cools the plant. Stomata are the tiny pores present on the surface of the leaves. These pores are surrounded by guard cells which regulate the exchange of gases and water vapor. Blood is the fluid. It transports the dissolved gases and the nutrients and waste products around the body. Blood vessels in which the blood flows around the body. What are the blood vessels? Arteries, veins. Heart is the pumping device, the blood around the body. Valves, they ensure the blood pumps in only one direction. Two types of circulatory systems are present. What are they? Open and closed type. Open type of circulatory system found in the invertebrate groups, including crustaceans, snails and insects. The blood pumped at a low pressure into the body cavity. What is that? Hemocoel, that is called. The blood bathes organs directly and moves slowly through the tissues, returning to the heart by means of collecting ducts. This is quite insufficient and only suitable for small organisms. Whereas in closed type of circulatory system found in the larger animals such as segmented worms, sea urchins and all vertebrates, the blood remains enclosed and circulates in a system of tubes called blood vessels. There is a separate fluid. What is that? Tissue fluid found between the blood vessels and cells, and it is a very effective transport system, which is closed type of circulatory system. It allows the blood to travel rapidly under high pressure to wherever it is needed. Then the blood is composed of plasma, that is fluid part, blood corpuscles, RBC, WBC and blood platelets, cellular components. These are all, these three. RBC are most abundant, whereas WBC and platelets are less when compared to RBC. All these cells perform different functions. Okay, there are four major types of blood groups. What are they? A, B, AB and O group. Okay children, thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.